So, alright, what we're going to do now is we're going to have a slight change in format. I'm going to get all my guests back on stage. If you guys could come back up. Please put your hands together for everyone who's performed so far. Okay, if you guys want to take these, you're going to need to be down here if you've got the wireless.
Now, what we're going to do, I don't have a fourth microphone because I didn't prepare. But I can project into the room and you guys should be able to hear me, yes? Yeah? Great. I prefer you to be able to hear my guests anyway. So, what we're going to do is I've prepared some questions for them, right? And they're going to go through a quick little news quiz, just a bit of fun for you guys to end on. If everyone here can pick someone in the audience that they like to sort of play for, and that person can either... I'm happy to give away a double pass to my show for the winner, and if any of my guests would like to do that, then welcome to Dion, I'm sure has heaps of double passes left.
Yeah, I'm also giving away 18 tickets to Matt Harvey, and I got this one.
That's unfair.
That's my pay, is I got 18 free comps.
Alright, just pick someone in the crowd.
I'm gonna pick this dude right here.
Cool, yeah.
You cool with that?
I'm gonna pick this dude, because I like red.
Well, I feel like let's let them pick. Does anyone want to pick me? It's more a consent thing, you know?
Yeah, right.
Right, everyone picks Maddie. I get it.
I'm gonna pick you.
There you go. Alright. See what happens in the front row, guys? See what happens?
You don't get picked on, you just get picked.
Alright, let's start. So, there's an Indian man named Raphael Samuel who's taking legal action against his own parents for doing what?
I know this
You know
one.
this one? Yeah,
because for being born.
For being born, that's right. Yeah, that's the one.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah. So he identifies as an anti-natalist. And, right? And his philosophy...
I'm also against birth.
Let's say he thinks that human beings are sort of messy and he didn't really have a choice in his birth, and so he blames his parents. But my favourite part about this, do you know what...
I don't know any more about it.
Okay, so his parents are both lawyers. His parents are both lawyers.
Fine,
and look, so he believes that he should be paid to live because it was not his choice to be born. But his mother said she would not have had him had she met him before he was born. That's the best retort ever.
That was actually a review I got.
Oh my god.
Your mom's a reviewer?
Yeah.
That's the advertiser, right?
Yeah. That's how you get those. So she's gone onto his Facebook page and put out an official statement on his Facebook page. She goes, if Raphael could come up with a rational explanation as to how he could have sought his consent to be born, I will accept my fault. Isn't that amazing? That's who he's going up against. Clearly they're going to represent themselves and they're going to win. That's the best.
As that child, who do you go to as a lawyer, also?
Well, he still hasn't found legal representation. He's still seeking something.
He's still seeking his degree first.
Well, I feel like he's knocked out his philosophy degree and now he's go from here.
That is definitely a kid with a philosophy.
Yeah.
100%. Oh, God. Sometimes the news is funnier than any comic can possibly be.
That's why I steal all the news. Alright, so one of Australia's biggest political donors is a Chinese billionaire named Huang Jingmo, I believe that's how you pronounce it. Now, he's recently been denied entry into Australia after his bid for citizenship was blocked and his permanent residency was cancelled. So that's the context for what's going on. What was his response to this action?
Let's start so loud, I get disappointed now.
Yeah, so just quickly, for anyone who didn't hear it, one of Australia's biggest political donors is a Chinese billionaire named Huang Jingmo. He has been denied re-entry into Australia after his bid for citizenship was blocked and his permanent residency was cancelled. So what was his response to this?
He's suing his parents.
Start a podcast about it or something?
Probably, yeah.
You want to take a step?
You opened a Starbucks.
It's not a bad response.
No, he's gone on record as saying that his treatment was grotesquely unfair, and he's told all the political parties that he donated to that if it was so inappropriate, then they should give him his money back.
Yeah.
I want a refund.
Yeah, he wants a refund. Yeah.
You don't understand politics.
That's what he said. Like, this is just.
I feel like your government doesn't understand bribes. He was like, here's a bunch of money, and they were like, thanks, fuck off. And he was like, no, I did this for a reason, no, I need in.
Yeah, so his official statement was, if any of the past donations I made was deemed inappropriate by any political figure...
Sorry, I didn't know you could read Mandarin. That's very
Oh, yeah. I keep my skills quiet.
Keep that on the racks.
Right, so what was that? By any political party or political figure, I again propose the option for them to duly return the amount donated without the need to pay any interest, which...
He was expecting returns.
Such an Asian businessman move right there.
Did the Australian government need a used car? Is that
Among other things, this is the guy who gave Sam Dastiari his money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he's done like a bunch of little bits and pieces here and there. He's given something like 3 million.
He's like a bunch of fuck.
Yeah, so he comes to his comedy show every week in Sydney and he gets really drunk and heckles.
Well, it's got nothing else to do with his time, does it?
No. Everyone's really nice to him though. None of the comics shut him down, we just feel bad for him. This is your next like big party push.
Oh my
Yeah.
The only thing worse than hate is pity.
He comes in like 5 drinks on the tray, like sits down.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
He has a couple more small
Do you think he does the same thing as a politician? Like shows up to his job and then just sits there with 5 drinks, just heckles everybody else? And
Well, if it's Sam Dastiari, I wouldn't be surprised. There's not much comment.
I know nothing about your political business.
He's very... Like, it would be really weird for you to know him. Like, he's such a low-level player.
Yeah, but he's at the mics.
Can't wait to see his type 5.
You're a Fringe show.
So, in an interview with, I can't remember which paper, maybe Economist or something, he said, this was his statement, he goes, "This is not the Australia that I believe in, the Australia of freedom, democracy, rule of law and fairness, but I keep my faith in law and justice," which is the exact script that I would write for like a dodgy political player if I was writing a really shitty like B-grade film, you know what I mean? Like, this is not what I believe in in freedom and justice.
And bribes.
Yes. And he went to call Australia a giant baby.
True.
I mean, that's an internationally known statement.
Well, that's good to know. That's important.
I'm sorry, that was a bad joke.
Alright, let's go with another question. You might have heard this one too. So the Fair Work Commission is going into arbitration over a case which will decide if it is okay to do what at work.
P.
Look, it's along those basic human lines.
Is it a smoker?
No, it's not a smoker.
Use Facebook.
Use Facebook. No, it's not that answer.
Look each other in the eyes.
No, it's not Amazon. It's not Amazon. I'm not there.
Is it like complain about your job? Is that?
No. So we'll go with, it's take a nap during your break.
Surely that's fine.
Right? Yeah, so this is what happens.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. This is why they go into Fair Work.
Yeah.
So...
Did someone get in trouble?
Yeah, 2 people got fired for napping at a hospital. They were on the late shift, so it was like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And they were in a room that wasn't being used. And they got seen and fired. Like, they're 2 cleaners.
Yeah.
And they've gone to the union and they're like, help, please? Because all they want is their job back, or failing that.
Were they in the hospital beds though? They were like,
They were hooked up to the morphine. It was an induced nap.
They just wouldn't get up. Their break was over. So they've gone to Fair Work, right? And the Union United Voice, the ACT branch secretary, Lyndon Ryan, gave this statement about the case. She goes, "If the commissioner thinks that you can't, this will be interesting news to every worker in the country. Let's see what the commissioner thinks you can do on your own time." Which real nice, fucking ominous statement from the union that I was really.
And at that point, the commissioner woke up from his nap.
But no one's on that. I think Maddie's in the lead at this point. Alright, so this has two potential answers. Oh no, three potential answers. So why is Facebook in the news again? Okay, I know there's a bunch of reasons you can give. Facebook in the news, yeah.
Because it is the news.
It is. Yeah,
Because it's taken over the news. Is that it? Is that the answer?
Sorry.
No.
In a sense. So, in emails dating back as far as 2011, Facebook has been internally discussing encouraging small children spending their parents' money on games via Facebook. They use the term friendly fraud to describe what they were doing. So by putting like in-game encouragements and just getting them to like sign up with a credit card and stuff like that, and that's the in-house term that they use was friendly fraud.
Yeah, I was reading recently about like how awful Facebook is.
Yeah.
So like I've still got a Facebook account, but I haven't like logged in for like 3 months or something. And
Big Facebook fan.
How are we going to know about everything you're doing every day?
This is why your Saturday numbers are struggling.
yeah. But like a friend of mine recently said, "Oh, you're on Facebook? Yeah, that must be great. You must have so much spare time. What are you doing with it?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, fuck." I have no life. Like I realised the two things in the last 3 months that I've got into are like soda water and yeah.
Also, poor choice.
Yeah.
Soda water.
No,
Gross.
soda water's great.
No.
And I started listening to classical music, and I was like, thank God I'm 26, because if I walked past someone and they said that's what they're into, and they were like over 55, I'd be like, kill yourself.
Do you have a soda stream?
No, I wish.
So good.
Yeah.
I also love that you just became like the most uppity douche.
I think to be fair, that was more nature.
Yeah. Also love that the minute that you quit Facebook, one person came up to you and just wanted your direct feed.
Yeah.
What have you been up to? I haven't heard from you in ages though. What have you been up
Wait till
to?
They actually work for Facebook. They're keeping tabs on everybody. Yeah. Oh, so we noticed you haven't done any posts for a while.
Yeah.
Send out the scouts.
Yeah. Will's added to his story.
Also, just back on topic,
Get the show back on track.
as we're avoiding the hard facts of this one, if you're giving your child your credit card, that's not Facebook's fault.
Yeah. Alright, this is the last one and then we'll wrap it up. What is space roasters, or what are space roasters? Space roasters.
Roasters.
Yeah, space roasters.
Space roasters.
Anyone want to take a stab?
It's part of Space Force.
It's probably, yeah.
Is that like if someone takes a photo of you parking really badly?
Obviously, in space.
I think that was how we had our last Thanksgiving dinner. We had it delivered from Uber Space.
So this is a coffee company who roasts its coffee beans via re-entry in Earth's atmosphere.
It's still better than the cat shit.
I've tried that. It's disgusting. It's so bitter.
Is the cat shit disgusting?
Yeah, it's weird, right? It's weird.
I mean, yeah, that's the sort of thing you have to try.
Yeah, it's for sure. So they
I like that we pass water through cat shit and then we don't call it diarrhea.
So just quickly to talk about how they plan on doing this. So they plan on having a space roasted capsule attached to rockets that carry about 75
They
kilos.
haven't done it yet? All these fucks.
Yeah, right. Which they then detach and parachutes back to the ground when it's ready.
I mean, you just gotta run around.
Yeah, right. So there's been some.
They catch up their tongue.
Yeah.
This company
They
called.
just sell you a car.
Yeah.
You just gotta go out.
Find the giant tea bag.
There's a company called ARS taking
Giant
out.
teabag was my nickname at school.
Facebook told me that.
3 years since.
there's a company called ARS Technica, and they did some maths to figure out the theoretical cost of the procedure, and they estimated a cost per cup of the space coffee. Do you want to take a stab at what the cost per cup is?
Like $75.
Hi.
40 moon rocks. That's a street drug.
Why have to pay for it?
Are we talking Australian, US, or Canadian?
US dollars. Okay.
Did that change your answer though? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, by like 2.2.
30,000.
3,000.
It's too high.
I'm gonna go with a real guess of $1, Alex.
This is not that game. What did you think? Just, I'm curious.
6,999.
That's way too high. You've just
For the briefest moment, this felt like Price is Right.
yeah.
You're almost there.
You're gonna see that dude going up the mountain.
So you've taken the wind out of it with the thing, but it's $500 per cup is what they've estimated that it's going to cost just to get it.
Now I do sort of want it.
Like, how jacked are you? Like, are we talking like you've had a couple espressos, or are we talking like limitless here? Get it done.
I'm going to say it's just a couple of espressos. Like, I think we're hitting limitless territory. That would be
Smack. PCP.
Yeah.
Anything close.
any sort of Class A drug except marijuana.
I'm now interviewing you like you're the company.
I am, yeah. I actually did start Space Roasters. This is how I'm launching it.
One basement comedy show at a time.
That's right, yeah. It's cheaper than a lot of other methods. Not as reliable, though. Alright, cool. So, thank you so much, guys. I'm going to call Maddie the winner there for actually having a correct answer.
Yeah, baby.
Coffee's on Maddie.
So thanks so much for coming out, guys. I do this sort of stuff at festivals and a regular podcast that runs. And so if I'm ever back in the festival, please come check it out again. And if you enjoyed yourselves, feel free to hang around for my show, which is about to start real soon. And you can hear the second half of that story I told you earlier. Good times. All right, thanks a lot, guys.